Hi, today I'm here with Stefne Van Zyl. I hope I pronounced that correctly, whom I had an appointment with 7 years ago. And finally, today we've made that appointment. Hi, Stephanie, how are you?
Hi, Mike. I'm fine, thanks. And you?
Well, I'm always singing and happy and grateful for stuff. That's me. Um, so we're going to talk well, first, before we get on to the subject of what you're doing, how did you
Yes.
end up in Monaco?
Oh my goodness, it's quite a long story, but I'll try and make it brief. I first ended up in Paris, where I illustrated from South Africa. I went to Paris. It was a much longer story than that, and I ended up illustrating for magazines. And after that, I went to Provence 10 years, and then I came to this part of the world on holiday once, and I decided this is where I want to stay. So I just came back, bought a tiny little apartment, and which I have sold in between and bought another one, and here I am. I found my little spot in the sun.
It's a beautiful place, isn't it?
It is lovely, yes,
Love
it
it. I
is.
really love it.
Very
But,
relaxed.
every day when I go down the street, somebody taps me on the shoulder and says, "Can you do a postage stamp for me?" And I think, God, I don't want to know about that. So, maybe you can tell me your story, how you ended up doing a postage stamp for Monaco. Was it the
Okay.
Roses charity?
No, in fact,
Red Cross.
it's my fourth stamp for Monaco already.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I think it was 2006. I just went to the stamp office and said, "Look, I'm an artist. Can I do something for you?" And they said, "Okay, come up with something." And my first stamp was actually for the Red Cross, the Monaco Red Cross, strangely enough. And then after that, my project was chosen for Princess Charlene's official stamp. So I did her official stamp. And then I did a stamp of Nelson Mandela to commemorate his centenary anniversary.
Mhm.
And then last year, I was approached by the stamp office to do a portrait of Prince Albert for the stamp commemorating his 40 years of presidency of the Red Cross in Monaco. So that's how it happened.
Well, just like everyday thing, I guess.
Everyday thing.
Oh, wonderful. Where can we see the stamps? Are they around still? Oh, presumably.
Yes, I think so. Yes, you can go to the Office des Émissions de Timbre in Monaco. I don't know if they still sold at the post offices, probably. I'm not sure. Um, but they're still around because when the stamp came out, there was a very big poster up on the tourist office window featuring my stamp. That it came out in July last year, and now I see they've put another one up to say, that with a couple of other stamps that they're still available. So I guess that would be at the post offices in Monaco. Otherwise, online, you can get it online.
Hey, oh, that's fascinating. Is it on your
Yeah.
website?
No, I haven't got a website anymore
Oh,
because I'm just on Instagram now. I for the moment. I do
it's
intend going
modern.
back to, yeah. It's also less trouble.
I know what you mean. Trying to keep a website up to date is a nightmare. Absolute nightmare. You think it's up to date, then you look at it and you think, oh, that was 6 months ago. Yeah,
Yeah,
total
yeah.
sympathy with that. Yeah, that's cool. So how do you do a stamp? I mean, do you take an A4 piece of paper and just do a drawing, or what do you do?
In the case of the last stamp, of course, every time they give you a specific format, specific measurements,
All right.
it's very small. It's about 20 by 16, if I remember correctly,
Mhm.
centimeters. So I came up with two projects. The photos were provided.
Uh-huh.
From, in fact, it was the Red Cross, Monaco Red Cross, that sent me the photos via the office, the stamp office.
Mhm.
And so I came up with two projects. And when it comes to the princely family, not only does I think there's the philatelic commission at the palace that chooses the project.
All right.
So they like the one that I thought they might take that one, because there's like the other project I did was of him in profile, and I think that's been done quite a bit before. So this one was a little bit different, and so I designed the stamp incorporating the logo, trying to play with the colors, and they liked it. So yeah, there you go.
They're brilliant pieces of work. It's just
Thank
it's
you.
nice for people to see these things. I really, yeah, that's great.
Watercolor. It was a watercolor, whereas the others that until now, I had only worked in like a red crayon pencil for the other stamps called Sanguine. And this was my first color stamp. So that was nice.
It must be difficult to get it so accurate and everything, or isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's my job.
Your job. So, well, stamps apart, you must have other projects. What are they?
Well, at the moment, I've got a few portrait commissions. So I would like to have another exhibition sometime or the other. I'm not sure when, because there's a lot of preparation involved. Obviously, I have to, come up with new paintings, but I just don't have time. It might be interesting to mention that last year I did what they call the Carnet de Voyage for the yacht club. There's a captain's club at the, I'll send you the link as a matter of fact, at the yacht club. I did their booklet, which entails, well, I did 38 illustrations for this book. So there are, it consists of a double page with the portrait of the captain. They chose like 10 or 11 mega yachts to feature in this book. So I did a portrait of the captain, a painting of the yacht, and a painting of a landscape or a scene that really touched the captain during his travels, so that he chose. And it came out rather nicely. So they're illustrations, this is watercolor illustrations for the most part. And then I also did in 2021, I also did the Christmas card for the Prince's family.
Oh, really?
Illustrated
That must be fun.
the family for their Christmas card. They didn't have, that was the only one that was illustrated. The others are all photos. So that was nice as well.
Being you and I, what are they like to deal with?
Oh, they're charming. They're charming.
I imagine they would be. Do they critique at all, or do they let you get on with it?
They just let me get on with it. So
Super.
it was, yeah.
How long does it
Trusted.
take to do a card? I mean, are they sitting there or giving you an image, or what do they do?
No, it's always just from photos, and I never paint from sittings. People don't have the time anymore, So it was just an illustration from different photos, and it seemed to have turned out quite nice. It was very exciting when it came out on internet, and just like the stamp, it was the same feeling, to see your stamp, your watercolor sort of shown all over the place. It's a nice feeling. It's really a nice feeling.
It must be. It must be. It must be nice to because it's something very personal, and I think that's what's so attractive about portraits, especially. But again, with portraits, you take somebody's photo. Do you take a photo, or do they give you a photo, or both?
I both. If I'm not happy with the photos that they provide, I suggest taking the photos myself, and then we choose together, and I advise them on which would be the better one for a portrait. So, but generally I get pretty good photos. So I do animals too. I've done something completely different. A few years ago, I actually decorated a whole room for the princes of Spain, for the cousins who live here. For the entrance room, I did like a whole series of panels with different themes, and That was different, but I did it on canvas, and then they put it up on the walls afterwards, like wallpaper. And that was amazing. That was really
I
something
see
too.
that. That sounds amazing.
I'll
Great.
show you. I'll send you photos. Yeah.
That'd be brilliant. Now, the other thing is, what medium are you using? Are you an oil person or a acrylic person?
I I use all media. I draw with pencils, charcoals, sanguines. I do a lot of pastels. I do watercolors. I do a lot of oils. There's a big demand for oils. And I do acrylics, but I prefer acrylics for decorating panels and trompe l'oeil. And well, it depends. It just depends. Depends on what would go with the project involved. So, but oils is very much the technique I use the most.
Yeah, well, oil for me is just the time it takes to dry. You think
Yeah.
it's dry and it's not dry.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm, mm.
I think we've all.
You learn to work with that.
I haven't learned to work with it at all. I'm just too impatient. So, to see some of your work, we can check it out on Instagram.
Yes, yes.
And it's just Stefne Van Zyl.
So it's just Stefne, STEFNE VANZYL, all attached, all in one go.
Okay. Okay. Well, we'll check it out and I'll put the link and things like that. And well, say a huge thank you for your time today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you. It was really a pleasure to be with you.
And we'll see you soon. Take care.
Okay,
Let's
right.
not
Thank
leave it
you.
7 years.
No.